Would the keeper of the flame please bring forward the Christ candle? Namaste.
Good morning. Right where you are at this moment, the light of Spirit shines through you. Infinitely loved by God, you are the light of the world. I'm Bernie, and I welcome you to Unity Spiritual Center of Waco this morning. As a reminder, please ensure your cell phones are muted. Okay, please stand as you are able and join in our congregational singing.
I relax, let go, release and surrender. I relax, let go, release and surrender. I relax, let go, release and surrender. All is well, all is well. I relax, let go, release and surrender. I relax, let go, release and surrender. I relax, let go, release and surrender. All is well, all is well. And every day I affirm and pray that I'm blessed with everything I have. I release my fear, 'cause it's all so clear. I am held, I am loved, I am safe. I relax, let go, release and surrender. I relax, let go, release and surrender. I relax, let go, release and surrender. All is well, I am well. And now I see what my life can be when I trust in the process and have faith. And now I know when I just let go that I have all I ever need. I relax, let go, release and surrender. I relax, let go, release and surrender. I relax, let go, release and surrender. I am well, I am well. I relax, let go, release and surrender. I relax, let go, release and surrender. I relax, let go, release and surrender. All is well, all is well. I relax, let go, release and surrender. I relax, let go, release and surrender. I relax, let go, release and surrender. All is well, I am well. All is well, I am well.
One day it's my dream to have a choir and actually have them do that.
Let us say together our statement of truth, which is on the screen. There is only one presence and one power in the universe and in my life. God, the good, omnipotent. We are a beacon of love and light for those who need this spiritual program right now. Let us say together our vision, mission, and core value for today. Our vision: to awaken an awareness of spirit in our lives through modern application of ancient wisdom. Our mission: raise consciousness, transform lives, heal the planet, one person at a time, beginning with me. And our core value today is prayer and meditation. We acknowledge the power of prayer and meditation to inspire, transform, and heal. Through affirmative prayer, we change our lives. Through meditation, we open ourselves to insight, intuition, and conscious awareness of spirit within. And now we'll have our daily word reading.
The daily word for today, February 19th, is aspire. I hold a vision of an equitable world, a global community that supports and encourages all people to live fully and reach their unique potential. I feel a kinship with those who hold a similar vision and work to realize it. My past experiences and present perspective show me what is mine to do and how I can contribute to realizing my vision. I trust I will be guided and inspired to find avenues of service where the things I do best and most enjoy doing will be helpful. I bless people I may never meet, and I offer my time, talents, and effort to further my vision of a new way of living. With clarity of purpose, I take my place among a growing network of caring, visionary souls. And from Ephesians chapter 4, verse 11 through 12, the gifts he gave were to equip the saints for the work of ministry, for building up the body of Christ. And our affirmation for today, which I'll say and then we'll say together: I aspire to help create a world that works for all.
I aspire to help create a world that works for all.
This is a time in our service when we have an opportunity to come together to greet one another, to give a hug, say hi, shake hands, or whatever it is you'd like. And you that are joining us on the internet, I especially want to thank you for being with us and know that we're thanking you also. So let's do that now.
And you may remain seated for our second congregational song.
Soften the ground of my heart. Carve out a space within me, where your presence can abide. Where your presence can abide. Soften the ground of our hearts. Carve out a space within us, where your presence can abide. Where your presence can
Thank you, Lucinda. And thank you, everyone, for being here. And thank you for joining us online. We really enjoy having you with us also. And good morning, everyone. I'm Reverend Don, and it's a pleasure to welcome each of you here this morning. And together we affirm and celebrate our unity, our oneness with each other, our oneness with all it is, and our oneness in God. Your presence is essential, for each of us is a unique aspect of the energy that expresses as Unity Spiritual Center of Waco today. And we know that no one is here by accident or coincidence. Unity is a New Thought denomination, yet New Thought is nothing new to the world. It is in reality a synthesis of the greatest concepts of the minds and spirits of humankind across the ages. The laws of Moses, the love of the Christ, the ethics of Buddha, the morals of Confucius, the 5 pillars of Islam, and the deep spiritual realization of the Hindus all find an exalted place within the philosophy that is unity. In unity, we believe that all people are created with sacred worth, regardless of culture, ethnicity, or sexual orientation, or creed, and we know that neither God nor unity leaves anyone out. So let's begin our service today with prayer. Infinite presence, loving Spirit, we come together today to be in the presence of God. We come together today to open our hearts, to allow that energy that is God to flow into us, knowing that we are connected with that presence, with that love that is in everything. Knowing that even as each one of us is a unique aspect of the love that is God, we are all one in your presence. We use this to look out into our world, especially this time of year. We're just going into a time when things are starting to renew, new growth. It won't be long till we have the birds hatching their song in the trees. The leaves starting to come on and rustle. And we can look out and see your presence, your love throughout the world. So we celebrate your presence and all that is. Your love, as we look into the world, we see that love. And we're grateful that we know you are in everything. We especially hold those in light, in love, that have asked for prayer, that are in need of prayer right now. We see the leaders of our country and all countries surrounded in your presence, coming together to work to bring peace, harmony, and love to our planet. When the disciples asked, how should we pray? Jesus gave them the Lord's Prayer, which we say together now as translated from the Aramaic, the language that Jesus spoke. Infinite presence, which is everywhere. Your name is sacred, your kingdom is come. Your will is throughout the earth, even as it is throughout the universe. You give us our needful bread from day to day, and you forgive our offenses, even as we forgive our offenders. And you let us not enter into materialism, but you separate us from error. Because yours are the kingdom, the power, and the song, and the praise, from all ages, throughout all ages, sealed in faith, trust, and truth. Amen. Each of us is the light and love of God, spiritual beings having a human experience. And we embrace you as God's beloved today. Thank you.
Morning. Well, when I read Don's blurb, I thought, oh, another sermon written just for me. He does that a lot. Yeah, when he talks often, I find myself saying, are you rummaging around in my soul, Don? This is something that I do need reminding of quite a bit. You know, I have not made it a secret that I suffer from imposter syndrome and crippling self-doubt. But we all need reminding sometimes that our gifts that we're given are not really ours, and they're not really gifts. They just are God acting through us. And so to round out February, I'm going to pull number 4 of Denise Rosier's songs. I think February is just going to be Denise Rosier month. And I'm going to sing a little song called God Within Me. So whenever you're ready, Alice. I love with the heart of God within me. I sing with the voice of God within me. I rest in the peace of God within me. Everything praises God within me. I know with the mind of God within me. I pray with the faith of God within me. I trust in the power of God within me. Everything praises God within me. I am a safe and loving place, born of beauty and amazing grace. I am God within me. I shine with the light of God within me. I am who I am 'cause of God within me. Everything, everything praises God. Everything, everything praises God. Everything, everything praises God within me.
Everything praises God. Everything praises God.
You, Lucinda, that's a good song, and it goes with today's message very well. I never know where I'm going when I get ready to do one of these talks. But before I do that, we don't have any kids with us today other than the one you know about, and me. But we'd really like to bless all the children of the world. I think that's important that we think of them as they take over our world, because one day they'll be the grown-ups taking care of us. So let's get some nice warm energy going together and hold out our hands and say, children, we love you, we bless you, and we hold the Christ within you. Thank you. As I was going, I never know where I'm going with the talk. The other morning, well, it wasn't really morning yet, about 2, 3 in the morning, I'm laying there about half awake thinking, what am I going to talk about? And I had not what I'd call an inspiration, but a Navajo blanket kind of appears, and I'm like, okay, so how am I going to make a talk out of a Navajo blanket? Okay. Well, as I thought about that, I remembered my childhood, because I grew up, part of it when I was very young, in Tularosa, New Mexico, where I was born. And it's just a small town, might have been maybe 2,000 people lived there back then. But I lived there as a child, and I remember some of the experience. It's right at the bottom of the foothills leading up into the mountains for Ruidosa and Cloudcroft, 2 places I love, beautiful places. And about halfway to Ruidosa was a place called Mescalero. And that's where the Mescalero Apaches lived. Actually, where Geronimo ended up being. And I remember we had the Indians, once in a while they'd come to town. And you never know what you're going to remember as a kid, things that stick with you. But I remember one day there was an Indian couple, drunker than a skunk, walking down the street, and the woman ends up falling. She's in the gutter there next to the curb, and he's yelling and screaming, get up, get up. And I'm thinking, And as I looked at them and think of that, I think we discriminate against a lot of people in this country. But we really need to think of what we've done to the natives of this country, to the Indians, and how we've discriminated against them. But on with the story. 2 of the things I remember about the Indians back there. One, they made beautiful jewelry, silver and turquoise. We've got a couple of pieces of that, and I love it. I'm from that part of the world, so that's something I really connect to and love. The other one was Navajo blankets, and they used to make those. And I love that, well, the beauty of them and how the designs and stuff come together. And that's what we're talking about today. As the way they make the blankets is the families that do that will have a small flock of sheep. And once or twice a year, they shear the sheep to get that wool. And they have different sheeps. They have white ones. They might have golden tan ones, reddish brown ones. Some of them, they're kind of a gray or silver, and some black ones. And they keep them all in the flock. One of the ones they really try to hold on to are the black ones. They say they're very rare and hard to get. So that's the ones they want. So they take those different colors and they consider them actually very sacred. They consider the sheep and the wool as a gift from the divine, and they treat it that way. So when they get ready to make this blanket, they take the sheep and they take them in and they're going to shear them. Back then they had to do it with hand clippers. Now they do everything electric, but back then it was all natural. So they'll take and roll it on its belly and start getting the fur off. And they just kind of peel it back as they're going down the side and going down the other and around the legs and just peel this whole thing off. And then once they get it off, it just kind of lays there. They take it in. If you look at it, it's almost like a blanket already. Kind of thick. If you really got an emergency, I'd say it'd probably keep you warm, take care of you. But as you look at the wool, it's just kind of all twisted together, no rhyme or reason. It's got a lot of dirt and debris, some sticks and stones that get stuck in it and everything. Well, they consider this sacred and figure they have to take care of it. So one of the things they do is they make a natural soap out of yucca plants. And they take this soap and they cleanse this wool, purify it, you might say. Get all the dirt and debris out of it. They pick all the little stones and twigs out. And consider this something that is purifying, something, it's a gift from God that they take care of. I think that's a lot about saying something about us. We're like that wool that's been sheared from that sheep. It was taken from the mother. And I think us as a society in our world feel that we've been cut off from our source, from our mother. And that causes us a lot of problems. We have a lot of the dirt and debris, the twigs and the stones that we've picked up even from birth, mainly from birth actually. Our beliefs, our feelings, what separates us from everyone else, holds us back from being the truth of who we are. We need some of that yucca soap ourselves to clean us, to let go of what holds us back from our truth. Anyway, they take this wool that's all twisted kind of, get it all scrubbed up nice. It's still got no order or nothing. So they do what they call carding. They take a little of the wool and kind of fluff it, and they have a couple of paddles, about like ping pong paddles, that have all these hundreds of little teeth on it. Nowadays it's made with wire. I don't know what they used back then. But they put them and they start combing it, carding it they call it, and getting that wool to line up, giving some order to it, letting that chaos go, and things start falling together. So they comb this till they get it the way they want it, and they kind of roll it up and end up with a tube of the wool about yay long rolled up and put it aside. They get some more, and they do this whole coat of this color and set it aside. Then they'll get another one of a different color. They cleanse it, purify it, you might say, and then they start carding it, getting some order, some sense to it, and they roll it all up. And they get all of the different colors done. And one of the things I've noticed is they keep the colors separate. They don't try to homogenize everything like people want to do nowadays. They realize the beauty in each one of those colors. It's like us. Everybody thinks everybody should be the way we think they should be. Whether it's religion, you have all the different religions in our world, each separate, each with their own beliefs, but we're all going the same direction. We're all going to the same destination. We're all trying to reach divinity. We have many different races, many different colors in our world. Each one special All of them equal. We just need to look at each other through the eyes of God. Every one of us is special. And that's what the Navajos think as they're building these blankets, beautiful blankets, is they keep the colors in perspective. Each one of them a part of that pattern, the magic that makes that blanket. But then they take each one and they take one of these little rolls and they take a spindle, long stick, it's got a disc on it, and they start it on the end and they kind of pull it out and they start rubbing it down their leg, spinning this stuff. Now that they've got that wool kind of in strands, they start twisting it, bringing it together to give it some strength, binding it. And they sit and they bind that up and then they roll it up and then they stretch out some more and they start rubbing it, building this yarn, getting it ready. And when they get that done, they get the other color and they do it. And then they start to build the blanket. And this, they say, is a sacred process. This was given to them by the divine. And they look at that as they build these patterns. They say this is a pattern that was given to us from God. And we need to care for it. So they start working to build the blankets out of all these different colors, just interacting them together to bring about the beauty that is that blanket. We need to realize that ourselves. We need to get rid of that impurity, that dirt and stuff that we're holding on to, that feeling that we're separate from everyone else. We look into our world and we see all that chaos. People going this way, going that way. Everybody thinking there's a limited supply, I've got to get mine. Perfect example, look at our Congress. You got this group over on this side of the aisle and this group on this side of the aisle, and this group wants something, this one says, ain't no way that's going to happen. If we allow that to happen, we're giving up part of our power. And this group over here is just the same, not going to give that way. Think how much better it would be if we worked together. Okay, you have your views, you have your views. But if we allow you to have something and you to have something, we kind of come together and we negotiate. We work together. We set up a pattern. Think how much good we could do. That's the way we need to look at life. We need to work together. So when they're building this blanket, they take all those individual strands, twist them together. That gives that yarn some strength, some cohesion, working together at each individual strand. Then they start building the blanket, one pattern at a time, building, interweaving all the different colors, all of the wool, bringing out that beauty. That's the way we need to treat our world. Each one of us is a unique aspect of God. Each one of us special, bringing what is us to this blanket, to this world. And as they build this blanket, and you see the pattern in it, it's something I used to love, still do. Just the beauty of it, seeing it all come together. And as I look at that, I think each one of those different colors is a blend of this blanket that makes it what it is. And even looking more than that, I look at it and I see each one of those hairs, each one of those separate hairs is a part of this blanket. Not any one of those hairs is more important or gives more strength or more beauty to that blanket. Every fiber in that thing is a part of the whole, is a part of that special beauty in that blanket. Each one of you is a piece of that blanket. Each one of you is that special part that makes the whole. All of us. Each one of us is a part of God. One of our principles says each one of us is a unique expression of God. Each one of us is part of the beauty that is in this world. Special. We don't have to do anything to bring that out. All we have to do is surrender. Just like our talk today, sweet surrender, letting go of what's holding us back. Just letting go of our thoughts and beliefs that separate us from each other, separate us from our truth, and separate us from God. If we do that, we got perfect harmony. We have to be like in that blanket. Lord, today, to start takes to bring this world together is just the love. So let's take that now into a time of meditation. So right where you are, just sit back. Allow the chair to support you. And take a deep breath. And as you do, breathe in that harmony, that light, that love that is God, that is you. Hold it for a moment. And then allow that to flow out. And as it does, allow that love, that light to flow out of you to the people around you, to your loved ones, your family, your friends, and everyone you contact. Breathing it in. Feeling, experiencing that love, that light. And feeling the beauty of allowing it to flow out, to give it away. So take just a few moments now just to feel that love, that light, that beauty. And especially feel that feeling of giving it away. Because that's the truth of who you are. You are love. Now as we come back to this time, to this place, let us know that nothing can hold us back from the beauty that is God. And so it is. Thank you.
This is the time in our service when we have an opportunity to give back to the work of Spirit through our offerings and our tithes. We give in love and gratitude for our own prosperity in its many forms, which comes to us through God, our instant, constant, and abundant source. Will the ushers please come forward? I invite you to hold your offering in your hand as we say our offertory blessing together. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all the good I am and have, all the good I give and receive, and I am ever grateful.
Would the ushers please come forward? There you go. And please join me as we bless this offering. You better back up a little better. Okay, our prosperity affirmation together.
We affirm the continued growth and prosperity of Unity Spiritual Center of Waco, and we are grateful.
And our prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us.
I am the light of God.
The love of God enfolds us.
I am the love of God.
The power of God protects us.
I am the power of God.
And the presence of God watches over us.
I am the presence of God.
Wherever
I am, God is, and all is well.
Let the church say, Amen.
Amen.